Hi, I'm Sabina, I'm from Adaptivity University, and I will show you a demo about how we considered learning styles in learning management systems. Before I show you the demo, I will give you a brief introduction about the adaptive mechanism we developed and how it works. The aim of our research is to incorporate students' characteristics in learning systems and provide them with learning material, learning experiences, learning activities that fits to their characteristics. There are two important issues we consider when developing such adaptive mechanisms. One is that we develop concepts for learning management systems in general. So we do not aim at one particular system, but the adaptive mechanism should work for learning management systems in general. The second important issue is that our adaptive mechanism should give teachers and course developers as little as possible additional effort when they are using it. So what we did was we developed an adaptive mechanism that enables learning management systems to automatically generate courses that fits to students' learning styles. Let me talk a bit more about the concept behind this adaptive mechanism. So the idea is that teachers and course developers are creating learning objects of particular types, and we predefined 6 different types of learning objects which are commonly used in learning management systems. That's learning material, examples, exercises, self-assessment tests, outlines and conclusions. And then the idea is that once these learning objects are available, the system is able to automatically generate courses that fits to students' learning styles. So how do we provide such adaptive courses and how do we compose such adaptive courses? There are two different features we use for providing adaptivity. One is about one thing we can change in such adaptive courses is the number of types of learning objects we present to students. So for example, if we have an active learner, then we know that active learners, they like to try things out, do some experiments with the material. So what we can do is we can provide them with a high number of exercises. On the other hand, if we have, for example, a reflective learner, we know that reflective learners, they like to think about the material, reflect about it. So what we can do is we can increase the number of examples we show to reflective learners. The second way in which we provide adaptivity is based on the sequence of types of learning objects. So for example, if we have a sensing learner, and sensing learners prefer to get some concrete material first before they learn the more abstract material, then what we can do is we can provide them first with examples and then after that presenting them with the more abstract material. On the other hand, if we have intuitive learners who learn well from abstract material, we can present them first with the abstract material and then maybe show 1 or 2 examples afterwards. As said before, we aim at developing a concept which works for learning management systems in general. However, after that we implemented the concept in a learning management system, namely in Moodle, and evaluated it in a course with more than 400 students. So let me next show you how this course looked like, and especially how this course looked like for students with different learning styles. Okay, so here you can see our course. You can also see that the course is in German because it has been taught at the university in Austria, but I will explain what the differences between the adaptive courses are. So let's start and log in as an active learner. So I'm going to the course itself. The course is about object-oriented modeling. And the course starts with 2 discussion forums, then we have general information about the course. Then we have introduction chapter, and then the adaptive chapter starts. The adaptive chapter provides in the beginning some information about the assignment, and then since we have a course for an active learner, And we know that active learners, they like to try things out, work actively with the material. So what we do is we present an active learner first with a self-assessment test where he or she can see what they know already about the topic, answer some questions, get feedback about their knowledge in this topic. After that, we provide them with exercises where they can practice, where they can have a kind of practice area, where they can solve problems and also get feedback about their solutions. After that, we have the learning material itself, and then we present the learner with one example. We present only one example because we know that active learners, they don't like examples that much because they don't like to see how someone else has solved the problem, but they prefer to solve problems by themselves. So that's why we present only one example here. After that, we show them a self-assessment test again, and then a conclusion of the chapter. The structure of each chapter is the same. So in the next chapter we start with a self-assessment test, then we have exercises, and then the learning material and so on. Okay, next I will show you how the same course looks like for a sensing learner. So we go again to the course, and the beginning of the course looks quite the same. We have again discussion forums, we have again the information, the general information about the course. Then we have the introduction chapter, and then the adaptive chapter starts. In the beginning of the adaptive chapter we have again the information about the assignment, and then since we know that sensing learners, they prefer concrete material, for them it's very important to get some concrete examples before they start with the more abstract material. We provide them with examples in the beginning. The chapter is about use case diagrams, so what we do here is we present them with some examples of use case diagrams. After that, we present learners with the more abstract learning material here. After that, we present them with a self-assessment test, and then we present them with exercises where they can practice. As you can see, the course looks different in terms of the sequence in which we provide different types of learning objects, and it looks different in the way of the number of types of learning objects we present to learners. Future work will deal with two issues. On one hand, we will focus on making our adaptive mechanism more generic and adaptable to teachers' needs. So as I said before, currently our adaptive mechanism is based on 6 different types of learning objects, and the idea is to allow teachers to decide which types of learning objects they want to use, let them use the types of learning objects they prefer, let them add some types of learning objects, and so on. The other issue we want to focus in future is about student modeling. Currently, we ask students to fill out the learning style questionnaire in order to identify their learning styles. In future, we want to combine the adaptive mechanism with an automatic student modeling approach, where we look at how students behave in a course, which actions they are doing, what they are doing in the course, and then infer their learning styles from their behavior and actions. Okay, so I'm at the end of this presentation. If you have any questions, just let me know.